Hi, I'm the Nature Kid, and then in this video, I'm going to be looking for queen ants. To start an ant farm where the ants don't just die and live for a long time, you need to find a queen ant. Every year, ants have what is called a nuptial flight, which is when male and female flying ants come out of the nest, and the female flying ants are the queens. And this is a worker odorous house ant carrying a male flying ant that is dead. But I'm trying to find a queen. It's been a few weeks since I first started looking for queen ants, and I didn't find anything. But it just rained, so I am looking for queen ants again. Whoa, look at that yellow mushy stuff. You know what that is? That is slime mold. Despite its name, slime mold isn't actually a fungus, it's actually a protist, related to microscopic amoebas. Slime mold is actually a kind of amoeba, one single cell that isn't microscopic. So now let's start looking for queen ants. So nuptial flights often happen after rain, and remember, nuptial flights are when flying queen and male ants leave the nest to mate. This isn't a nuptial flight, but this is some ants. These are pavement ants, or Tetramorium. They have a trail that goes from their nest right here to a piece of food. See? This is either a king or a queen termite. Termites are often mistaken for ants, but this is a termite, not an ant. Termites are actually a kind of cockroach that eats wood. But I'm not catching termite queens, I'm catching ant queens. Now it's raining again, but there's still ants. These ants are winter ants. They're called winter ants because they come out during winter and come out during summer less. Look it, that's a whole line of winter ants. I followed the trail and I found their nest. See? Is this little hole in the ground. And at the other end of this ant trail, the winter ants are on an old piece of fruit. It's raining right now and no queen ants are out, but the rain is causing bugs that would normally be under rocks and logs to come out. This bug right here is a woodlouse. There's a lot of woodlice over here. And so despite their name, woodlice are not actually lice. They don't bite, they're not even insects, but they are crustaceans. There's a little spider right here. And right here there is a roly-poly. And roly-polies, also called pill bugs, roll up into a ball when touched. I don't think that this one really wants to, probably because it hasn't rained for months. There was a drought this summer, and it hadn't rained for months. So because of that, all kinds of moisture-loving insects and bugs, such as woodlice and roly-polies and spiders, are coming out. I even saw a centipede climbing up this tree. Under this stick, there are lots of roly-polies and woodlice. And it's kind of rare to see roly-polies and woodlice coming out because they tend to like the moist environment under rocks and logs. But because it hasn't rained for such a long time, the woodlice and roly-polies are happy to come out. It's raining really hard. And like, you hardly ever see these bugs climbing. They're usually just hiding under stuff, but now they're out. Now it is the 3rd day of fall, and right in my backyard I found a queen ant. But not just any queen ant, I found a queen mystery ant. So I am still not sure what species these ants are, but I know that they are part of the genus Hypoponera. And Hypoponera are semi-claustral. So if you wonder what that means, so fully claustral is when a queen ant doesn't need food when starting her colony until she has workers. So with a fully claustral ant, you seal her up in a test tube with a cotton ball and water and leave her in the dark and check on her in about 2 weeks, and don't feed her anything until she has her first ants. But semi-claustral means that she needs food. And if you wonder how to identify a queen ant, she usually is larger than a worker and has a larger thorax in proportion to her body. So now I have cleaned out a test tube and filled it with water. Then you wrap a cotton ball around a cotton ball and block the water with this. And this is how the queen ant will get water. And then you put the queen ant here and then seal it up with another cotton ball so that she can't get out. But actually, this is with fully claustral ants, and Hypoponera is not fully claustral. It is semi-claustral. With fully claustral ants, you just do this and put the test tube in a dark place, but with semi-claustral ants, you do something different. And so because these mystery ants are semi-claustral, they need food. And in the wild, semi-claustral queen ants, when they start a colony, they go out and forage. So what I'm going to do is put the test tube in an old apple turnover container. So now I've filled the container with soil. So now I have put some rocks in here, and the reason why I'm putting rocks in here is so that this container doesn't float, because I'm putting it in water. And the reason why I don't want it to float is so that the test tube doesn't roll around. The reason why I'm putting it in water is because I have sugar ants or house ants in my house. And when ants from 2 different colonies meet, they will fight. And I don't want the house ants to kill the queen mystery ant. So now I've filled this bucket lid with water to keep the house ants out. So now I've covered the test tube with some black paper, and this queen ant was just drinking water. So now I'm going to cover up the part with the queen ant. So now I have sprayed the dirt and rocks to moisten it, and now I am letting the queen ant out of the test tube. Now she has already left the test tube. Ants in the genus Hypoponera are carnivorous, at least as far as we know. Not much is known about Hypoponera ants, and I'm unsure about the species that lives in my backyard. I've seen them eat tiny bugs such as mites and springtails, and other tiny soil bugs. But before I try feeding this queen ant, I want to make sure that she knows where her new home is in this container, because she seems like she's just looking for a place to make a new nest. I'm still unsure, but I'm going to try and catch some springtails and mites and put them in here. I just wanted to show you something first, and that is that I actually have another ant colony, and this is a colony of pavement ants that I raised from a queen pavement ant I caught a few years ago, and pavement ants are fully claustral, so they don't have to eat until there are workers. And there are lots of worker ants in here, and I feed them stuff like bread and fruit and sometimes insects. And so now it looks like the queen ant has dug a nest in here. She's dug it, and she isn't leaving the test tube, but I'm still leaving the test tube here because it has water. And the queen ant needs water. Right now the queen ant isn't out, but she's in a hole over here. I've also put little tiny creatures that Hypoponera ants eat, such as mites and springtails. This is a winged Brachymyrmex depilis queen. Brachymyrmex depilis queens are fully claustral. So I got a test tube with water and cotton balls. So now I have sealed this test tube up with a cotton ball, and there is the Brachymyrmex depilis queen ant in here. She still has wings, and queen ants usually break off their wings when fertilized, but this queen still might have mated during a nuptial flight because they don't always break off their wings. And in fact, recent studies show that queen ants don't break off their wings because they mated. They break off their wings when they're away from other queen ants. So I'm going to put this test tube in a dark place and maybe forget about the queen ant for 2 weeks. Now it's been a couple of days, and I caught another queen ant. This is a queen Myrmica ant. Myrmica ants are semi-claustral. And I can't find a test tube, so what I am doing is putting the Myrmica ant queen in a container with a wet cotton ball and some food. I hope you liked the video. Like and subscribe for more Nature Kid videos. Bye!